In this video, we're going to look at a basic review of solving simple equations. We're going to look at the addition property of equality, the multiplication property of equality, and then putting those two together in the same problem. The first equation we're going to solve is x plus 11 equals 38. In order to solve this equation, we need to get the variable by itself. So we want to get that x by itself. That means we need to remove the 11 from that side of the equation. And the way we're going to do that is through using the addition property of equality, which says we are allowed to add or subtract anything from one side of the equation as long as we do the same thing to the other side of the equation. So here, I need to get rid of that positive 11, so I'm going to subtract 11 from the left-hand side of the equation. If I subtract 11 from the left-hand side of the equation, I also have to subtract 11 from the right-hand side of the equation. On the left-hand side of the equation, that positive and negative 11 cancel each other out, leaving just the x. And on the right-hand side of the equation, I have 38 minus 11, which is 27, and that is the solution to my equation, x equals 27. Next, we'll look at the equation negative 6x equals 54. This time, I have negative 6 times x equals 54. I need multiplication to go away. And this is where we're going to use the multiplication property of equality, which says I'm allowed to multiply or divide one side of the equation by anything I want, as long as I do the same thing to the other side. Here I've got negative 6 times x, and I want that to go away so that I get the x by itself. So I'm going to divide the left-hand side by negative 6. If I divide the left-hand side of the equation by negative 6, I also have to divide the right-hand side by negative 6. On the left-hand side, those negative 6's cancel, leaving me just the x. And on the right-hand side, I get 54 divided by negative 6. Well, let's see, 54 divided by 6 is 9, and a positive divided by a negative is a negative, so I wind up with x equals negative 9, and that's my solution to my equation. We're going to look at one more equation that we're going to solve, and it's 9x minus 13 equals 32. In this case, I've got 9 times x, and I've got a minus 13 that I need to deal with. The way that we are going to get x by itself is by getting rid of the thing furthest away from the x first. So I'm going to use the addition property of equality to add 13 to the left. If I do that, I also have to add 13 to the right. On the left, the 13's cancel, leaving me with 9x. And on the right, I've got 32 plus 13, which is 45. Now I can see I've got 9 times x equals 45. I need to get that x by itself. So I want to make multiplication go away, so I'm going to divide the left by 9, and if I divide the left by 9, I also have to divide the right by 9. On the left hand side, those 9's cancel, leaving me just the x, and on the right hand side, I've got 45 divided by 9, which is 5, and that's the solution to my equation. Here we looked at 3 different types of problems. We used the addition property of equality, the multiplication property of equality, and then we put them together in one problem to be able to solve it. When we're solving it, we're looking to get the variable by itself on one side of the equal sign, and then the number on the other side is our solution.